Hi everybody and welcome to this week's video. Thought I'd do a voiceover for this one. So another table build, and we're using elm, and it's been lying around for a while, so it needed a lot of cleaning up to be done. I decided to make this video with palm resin, and this palm resin actually was really tinged yellow, one part of it, but you'll notice that actually when I cast the table this didn't affect it. The resin went back clear once it was mixed. It's the hardener that's yellow, and once it was mixed with the resin it actually went clear. So I did add a blue tint into it, but you would never know. The table doesn't look anyway yellow, which just goes to show you it doesn't really matter when that is tinged. When it's got a colour in it you don't see it, and it's certainly, as you can see there, looks great. Put a first layer in, and that was really to secure the mould. That's what I'm doing just now. The palm resin was really good because I didn't need to degas. I used a blowtorch obviously, and also I could pour a really thick amount. I didn't have to do it in small pours. I think I put the first layer down to seal the mould, and then it was about 40mm on top of that was the table. I had very few bubbles actually in it, which I was quite surprised because I wasn't sure if the wood was dry as it needed to be, should I say. Did add a few bubbles on the inside of the burr, but I do think that was released from the wood. Cleans up lovely with the blowtorch. I was just pouring some of the blue resin on top to fill some of the voids here, because I wanted two smooth surfaces for the final table, obviously, so that when I put a top coat on, which you'll see coming up, it was nice and smooth to start with. Just used a router sled, and that evened up the table perfect. Took that top thick coat of the blue resin off the wood, so that I could coat it with a clear, which, as I say, you'll see coming up. So much sanding with these tables. They are so work intensive. Just hours and hours of sanding. The router actually did chip out some of the resin, but I was able to repair that at the end anyway. And the jigsaw here did struggle to cut through this because the board is nearly as thick as the jigsaw blade. But it did it. It worked absolutely fine. I did all the major work on this outdoors because what a mess everything is. Here with the router in around the tops, the resin was just sticking to me. It was like static. Router really does work well on resin. And then back to sanding. Here I'm just using a bit of rubbing alcohol just to clean the wood up. The wood was actually really dirty, so I'm glad that I did that, because I wanted it as clean as possible for the next part. So this is the top of the table that I'm coating here, as well as filling in any voids that was left over after I routed out the routed the table even. Same again, used the palm resin on the top. I find myself it takes about 12 hours, but the difference with palm resin is that you really don't want to put anything on top of it. It would mark it at this point, whereas some of the other resins would be a bit more forgiving, but not this one. This is the underside of the table. Wasn't so important that this bit be perfect, but it needed to be coated with resin so that you could see through the table properly. If not, it would just look rubbish on the back side. This is a table. These table legs I actually bought. I went to a place called B&M, which is in the UK, and they had a table on sale. I think it was for a tenner with a glass top, and I bought that, but to salvage the legs. Made a massive mistake here with the colouring though. Don't know what possessed me to use this colour. But anyway, this wasn't how the table finally ends up. I left this process in because this is how I did it. And I actually just used intrinsic colours. But I actually had to sand all of this off and recoat it again in a better colour. Really the table didn't need any colour. But, well, it was a lesson learnt. Colour was very nice, it just didn't go with the table. But luckily the dye didn't go deep into the wood, so I was able to sand it all back off again. It was a glorious day when I did that. Top coated it just with a clear lacquer, which I did with the final legs as well when I finished them the final colour. I like the design of these legs. It was definitely something I probably could have made myself, but for all the money it probably would have cost me that picking up the wood. On top of that there's just like little discs, and I glued the little discs to the table and then attached the legs. Anyway everybody, I hope you enjoyed. I will be back very soon with another video, and thank you for watching.